to partnered organizations on the Sweaty stream. Welcome in, everybody. How's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry about the later start than usual here, but man, it's good to be back for some Splash Series action. We've got Strikers Against Emerald Team Ignition. My name, if you guys don't know already, must be living on a rock. My name's Sweaty FC. It's nice to see you all. Welcome in as again, we got two orgs here that are very familiar to the stream. Strikers Against Emerald Team Ignition, two partnered organizations here to clash tonight in the Splash series. We've seen Emerald before. We've seen her a couple times before as well, and I think we've even seen them before in Splash series. I'd have to check on that, but I know for Team Ignition we haven't seen them in a... Yeah, we haven't seen them. We saw them last week when they won against Three Musketeers. Now, this week they play Team Ignition, who are still searching for their first win. This version of Team Ignition we have not seen since the Premier Championship series was out, so nice to see a lot of returning players. Brizzle, Amaria, and Ignition Savage. And, that is wrong, that is not his name, Evolutioner, who went by the name of Proster. There you go. My apologies there. Now it's correct. Again, Proster, who's now renamed himself to Evolutioner. Again, it's nice to see a lot of players coming this stream. We even recognize some other names like Haku, their coach. He's been a fan of the stream for a while. He's been one of the more vocal people whenever any of the other Ignition teams play. As for Emerald, again, we've seen Eternal Vector Gen, Nate Frog, Chaotix all before. We haven't seen Sinister on this stream before. That'll be a kind of a new player for us. Well, we have seen him. But we saw this team before. We haven't seen Sinister yet, though. But apparently he might be making his debut tonight, so be on the lookout for that. And just making sure we get everybody ready. Prediction poll is out as well. Vote on who you think will win this series. Strikers Against Emerald are currently 2-1. Team Ignition 0-3. So again, if you wanted to bet, maybe on a more safe side, you'd bet for Emerald here, but Team Ignition have not won yet. They have, though, gotten better, according to their captain in Briz. They've gotten better as time's gone on, so... And against a team like Emerald's a team that doesn't do well in offense. If Team Ignition's offense, even though it has been an issue for them all season long, if their offense can, work just a little bit more here, be a little bit better, maybe they can get a win here against an Emerald team that has been looking pretty good this season. Again, it's up to these teams to really show us what they have. As again, we're just waiting on both teams to give us the okay. Who am I casting tonight? Here you go, I can show you who I'm casting. We got this match at 7:30, and then we're going to be on a bit of a break before we come back later tonight for Strikers Against Cobalt, Bandini Boys. The matches we have tonight, if that helps you. Yeah, those are the two matches today. We'll have, I think we've already scheduled another match tomorrow. And those are the matches I have right now. As we'll go in game here. As again, one thing to tell you guys, all of you guys, again, Evolutioner is going by Evolutioner, but Spider Checks, the name Spider Checks, that is Omarion, I believe. Be wrong, but yeah, I was gonna say it's not Savage. I know it's not Savage. And I believe that is not Atomic, so I believe that is Omarion. Plays under the name of Spider Checks. I'll be calling him Omarion, just for simplicity. Again, we're just trying to... Spider equals Omarion, yep. I already know that. I remember, don't worry. I remember from the last time you were on the stream. Because if I remember anything about this Ignition side, yeah, they've got some pretty funny names. Again, Omarion, Spider Jacks being one of them. The other one was Savage. I know he goes by Ignition Savage, but in game I believe he goes by like he goes by some different name. Although it is still there's Savage still included in it. So I know it is. No. Outside he goes by Savage. Inside he goes by in game he goes by Ignition Savage. Young Savage. There you go. Thank you. Again, we'll Just win for these teams here. As again, getting some notes down here as well. We're trying to make sure we get people in. Yeah, don't worry, Brizzle. I know that you're Briz. That's pretty simple, self-explanatory. Again, yeah, I know these guys have some pretty interesting names. As oh, there they are. There's Sinister, Nate Frog, Eternal Vector, and that's everybody. We're already in the, wow, this series is gonna start off actually a lot quicker than I thought it would have. But we got everything. We got everybody in here. Everybody's on time for this best of 5, week 4 of the Splash series. Here we go. Strikers of Chaos Emerald, Team Ignition. I'm pretty sure Eternal Vector's on PC, so you can see that. Yeah, there he is. I was gonna say I don't know if everybody on Ignition is. I believe at least Briz is on. I think PC, but. Anyways, roll in. Well, everything is set up, and here we go. X-Gas Emerald on the blue, Team Ignition on the orange. Ignition still looking for their first win of the season. As for Emerald, after having a bad start in week 1 now, going into week 3, they have now started to climb up that ladder. So a long way to go, though, before they can really, truly reach the top of the rankings. And, one of the big things to focus on in this team is that offense. It's always been an issue for them, and with this roster no longer having Boltini roam on with them, it's going to make things a little more difficult because she was a pretty strong shooter for this team. They're going to rely on people like Eternal Vector and Nate Frog, who can really do the shooting, who can do the shooting themselves, but you see them do a little more of it. You can see Ignition. This is where they can maybe start to show at shooting options, because their defense has always been something that's been pretty consistent for them, but their offense has had its inconsistencies. There's no better player to talk about with the inconsistencies on offense than Nate Frog. Some games he'll score no goals at all. He'll be very solid on offense. Other games he can get by, but he'll be beaten there by Omarion. And it's Ignition who will score first in this series. Things not going well here for Strikers of Chaos Emerald. Again, it just feels like they don't really have a true game plan coming into this with Sinister. Again, I think it's his first time playing for the Emerald side, is this series specifically. And you can already tell this team not so used to each other. And my worries is that maybe this is a sign that they didn't even do any real sort of practice with Sinister before the series. And if that's true, then no wonder they're having some difficulty working as a team. It's really tough with a new roster. You see it at every rank, at every range. Generally speaking, new rosters are not what you think they are. Usually, they have a slow time start. It usually takes them a bit to kind of bounce into gameplay. You need some time with the new roster before you can really allow it to execute to its full potential. As Emerald again still pinned in their own half. Nate Frog has a touch here, maybe towards net. Briz is gone into his own net here. Sinister up with it. That one is weak. Ignition took a little bit of time to get to it, but it is Evolutioner who saves. There's now Sinister in front of the field. Nate Frog, open net. Where is everybody from Ignition? Everybody moves away from the nets. It's Nate Frog with quite possibly one of the easiest shots he'll get all series long. As from Ignition, everybody's past that midway line. Where did they go? Was it a boost issue? Ignition, as a team, do have rotational issues. And a lot of it comes down to speed, although Emerald are not known for their speed. Although, again, strange goals here for Emerald. Ignition, those are goals you need to start to prevent. You cannot let goals going that quickly off the kickoff. Spyjax flips the wrong way on this one. Actually turns the wrong way. Doesn't even give himself a chance to flip into it. Another gifted goal from Ignition. Go into the back pockets of Strikers Chaos Emerald, the Knights of Chaos team, who are going down by a goal have already taken the lead their way. This Evolutioner misses this on. Briz will save. Nate Frog, maybe leave it for Eternal Vector. Back wall left kind of open here. And demo from Nate Frog. Ignition really panicking in defense very quickly here. And you can see just how easy it is to overwhelm this team. Emerald are doing it, and they're pretty defensive overall, but if they're having this kind of success on offense, something isn't working for Ignition. Now, they do have a coach in Haku, and they're going to really need to utilize it here because Strikers Chaos Emerald are a team that you should not be getting overwhelmed by. Their offense generally one that isn't very high productive. So far, they found a lot of success. Now, a double commit from Ignition. Backfield open, Sinister, one to beat. It's Evolutioner who will get the save. Now a clear way for Ignition. Just a little bit of time, but Nate Frog sending it all the way back down the field. Emerald. Gonna get involved. Sinister. Back wall. In front of the net. No one there. But still pelting. Sinister. He's gonna pre-jump that bounce. Nearly got to it. No one from Ignition jumped. Everybody let him have that chance. And part of it looked like they were just really awkward. They didn't want to jump for it because they knew it was going to be a really difficult situation for them, and they'd rather take their chances on playing reactionary. Again, you can just see how quickly they get overwhelmed, how quickly they panic, as now Eternal Vector makes it 4. Strikers of Chaos Emerald beating Team Ignition in every way possible. And again, a bad start for Strikers Against Emerald, but they've really come around to making this one painful for Team Ignition. Another play, that one getting through, but not on target. In front, Eternal Vector, back wall, Nate Frog, 5. It's just goal after goal for Strikers Against Emerald. Very quickly, this game getting out of hand for Team Ignition. Yeah, they're just not able to keep up with Strikers of Chaos Emerald. And this Emerald team can be kind of deceiving. You look at them and you just see how defensively they played, and you think, oh, this is not going to be that bad. They sit back so far, but their defense is quite strong, and their offense can definitely be scary too. That's a 6 goal. They just keep on scoring right off the kickoff, don't they? Emerald leaving nothing behind. As now they've just scored again. Again, that net left wide open by Ignition. Players just leaving their net vacant at the worst possible times. Again, this is going to be something where they're going to need to do a whole play style overhaul. They want to take down Emerald. Sinister infield. Nate Frog jumping. Can't make it 7, but with about 60 seconds left, this game's already over. Emerald just looking to pile on the pain, add some salt to that wound, and that one saved by Evolutioner. Ignition just trying to mitigate the pressure. Just prevent this game from really becoming somewhat of a blowout. And it kind of already is, but Emerald not done yet. Evolutioner. Nate Frog now wants to put it on target. Briz getting bumped. Eternal Vector wants a chance, but couldn't get a piece of it. Ignition can clear the ball away. Evolutioner. Nate Frog out the back wall. Now Amarian. Infield, but Sinister gets the clear. Nate Frog. Continuation up towards the nets. No one from Ignition getting it. It'll be Eternal Vector trying to make it 7, but it's wide. Now Ignition again just send the ball all the way back down. I don't care to get offense. I just need to make sure that they don't get scored on again. They don't want another goal in a game that is already out of hand, but unfortunately that will be the case. Eternal Vector with a second. And Strikers of Chaos Emerald will have an all-expense paid trip to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Free of charge, thank you very much. A 7-1 win. And this game, well, truly over. And there's not much else I could say except that Strikers Against Emerald dominated that one. The game one, that's much of a blowout. Things are not looking good for Ignition. Their first time back on the stream. They would hate to have it be a loss here, and a very disappointing loss to say the least. Emerald are a good team, but this is time for them to talk with their coach Haku. See what changes they need to make. Very quickly, we're back in here for Game 2. Team Ignition have a lot of work ahead of them here if they want to pull this series around. Strikes Against Emerald must be feeling pretty confident. Rarely do they ever score more than maybe two or three goals a game. They'll be able to do it just in Game 1 alone. Might be able to set the tempo here for future games to come. Vector gets to Amari and Evolution to the sidewall, gets bumped by Briz. Space here for Nate Frog, who'll take it up himself. Evolutioner with the challenge prevents that play. So no Vector now. A light touch. Down to Sinister, who is looking for a play on net. That one wide, Evolutioner to the corner. Ignition playing defense. Again, look at that. That net left wide open. And Eternal Vector with the dunk, and it will go in. And again, Ignition. Double commits and bad rotations leaving this net open. And his Strikers of Chaos Emerald will take advantage of every single chance they get. They score first here in game 2. Sinister bumps to the ceiling. Tap down. Eternal Vector and hit a piece of an Ignition defender. As now Nate free shot. That one's high. Evolutioner very slowly gets to this one, and he had to go for boost as well. He's just giving this ball away. In front of that, Sinister wants to jump. Eternal Vector does too. Emerald maybe getting a bit greedy for some of these goals. In a lead, they don't have to worry too much right now, although they do want a second goal, and just can't be too greedy for it though, because greed can cause overcommits, and that's something that Emerald we don't see them pull overcommits very often, but probably something that they could do, and they don't want to be the ones to do it, because any team can counterattack. Eternal Vector. Everybody up for Ignition. His aerial play, that's scary in front of the net. Now a play across. Ignition holding on here, but that defense does have a tendency to break down if enough shots are piled on it. Nate Frog, the clear. Omarion sends it all the way back. Eternal Vector now off the sidewall. Evolutioner, a good slow play here. Nate Frog will challenge. Now here comes Omarion. Ignition finding some room here. As Briz to Omarion, but Evolutioner, the real threat off the sidewall. Nate Frog will clear. And Brizzle's missed this. Evolutioner's got to go all the way back here. Ignition playing defense once again. Nate Frog, what a flick to Sinister, but that one's high. Now Eternal Vector, that one's wide. Nate Frog, the little pass from Sinister, that one's also wide of the net. Strikes against Emerald, struggling to shoot on a target there right in front of them. Ignition will be very fortunate in that set play that they weren't scored on again here, because Emerald are putting on so many offensive chances. They're just missing the mark though. And Eternal Vector. Evolutioner. Challenge, but no clear. And it will just die in the midfield for Ignition. A player's committing Eternal Vector. May just be in the last defender. Nate Frog, open nets, and will push it off the post and in. Another double commit from Ignition, and just a good beat here from Eternal Vector. As a third man, he's got to make his decision quickly there if he wants to challenge or not. And he knows that if his challenge goes wrong, he could be getting scored on the other way. But he makes the right decision. He goes for it. He wins the challenge by a landslide. Emerald now with a more comfortable 2-goal lead. Eternal Vector, some space here, just puts it off the crossbar. Now Marion to the corner. And multiple challenges coming through, but Emerald winning all of them, and that's a good shot from Eternal Vector to the back post. Strikers of Chaos Emerald are just finding a multitude of ways through. And just like Game 1, Game 2 might follow the very same storyline. Ignition they're getting blown out here. That's another one. Sinister off the kickoff. It's 4 goals this game. Started off very close, very competitive, but now it's very quickly getting out of hand again for Ignition. They just cannot seem to keep themselves competitive for the entirety of this game. Maybe they're exhausting all the resources. Maybe they're just getting a bit tired, but whatever the case is. Strikers of Chaos Emerald. And they almost made it 5 there. There's still a lot of time remaining in front of the nets. Sinister! There it is. A 5th goal. Emerald just scoring at free will. They find the chances. They maybe make the defense of Ignition second guess itself, and that's when they can challenge. Now a kickoff win for Ignition. It's Omarion off the back wall. Looking in field, but it's cleared away, and now Chance for Emerald. Shot off. Eternal Vector as well placed. And Briz can't get to it. And we still have well over a minute remaining in this game. And well, again, just like last game with about a minute left, I think this one might be done and dusted here. I think we've already found our winner in this game. As Emerald. And they're leading by 6. And there's, again, still about a minute left. They have... Even with, again, a lot of time, they aren't slowing down, and really, I don't see a way any team could get through and make a 6-goal comeback with such little time remaining. There's Emerald to take it back here. Oh no, what the? Alright then. Is Emerald going for the Brazil? I have a feeling they did that to go for the Brazil. I'm not even lying here. That looked very intentional from Sinister. I assume they may have wanted that team pinch, but they might have just wanted to, might want to have the chance to go for another Brazil game. They got it last game, they might do it again. And we'll see. All I need is 1 goal to do it. As Nate Frog, who doesn't get a shot on that one, and now Sinister's been bumped as well as their challenge doesn't come in. As Eternal Vector. All bounced away from him on the sidewall, now Nate Frog jumping in. So Omarion wants to fall on this one. Nate Frog towards Eternal Vector. Evolutioner is there. Omarion now. What a touch from Omarion towards the net. Little touch. Omarion's dribbling around this Emerald team. A little bit of mechanics from Omarion to get his team some space. They actually have a good amount of chances on offense. Grizz in front. And that one in for Evolutioner. A sky-high goal. Team Ignition score again. And technically, that is their 2nd straight goal here in this series. What might be the last goal of this game. While it is over Ignition, that goal maybe gives them a little bit of hope going into Game 3. They could still take down Circus Emerald, but to do it, they're going to have to make a reverse sweep, something very difficult. They haven't even gone to Game 5 yet this season against any team. Best they've ever done was last week. Apparently, according to Brizzle, they went to Game 4 before losing, so now they have to go and really bring the fight here to Emerald, but Emerald, another game where they're just getting tons of goals. 7 goals in Game 1, 6 goals in Game 2. As again, we're going to see if they maybe have a tech issue here. That's why they're calling the timeout. You cannot take tactical timeouts in this league. Yeah, okay, I was going to say, there's no tactical timeouts in this league, so... you... Again, unless they have a tech issue. I'll see if they have maybe have tech issues. Yep, it was a tech issue. Okay, we're going to wait on Omarion to fix his tech here. I was going to see if maybe he can fix his issues here again. Just a few tech issues here from Ignition. As Haku, you can't call tactical timeouts. If this is a tactical timeout, you cannot take tactical timeouts. There are no tactical timeouts in this league until you get into the playoffs. I'm going to see what's happening here. I'm going to make sure I can message the captains and see if we can sort out these issues. But again, if you have a tech issue, we can wait on that. We'll give you some time to fix that. As again, we're going to see if we can get them back in the lobby here. We're going to see if we can fix those issues. As it seems like, okay, everything's been fixed here. Yeah, it's Team Ignition again. They must have been able to fix the issues there with Omarian's remote. I'm gonna get Emerald in here for Game 3. Checkers guess Emerald only 1 game away from winning this series. Ignition have a... Again, they have to complete a reverse sweep. Ironically, this team has had a reverse sweep on the stream before. But against Emerald, that's not a great start. Eternal Vector, 11 seconds in. Already things looking a bit dicey for Team Ignition. Eternal Vector flicks over 2 players with 1 play. Had a great start here in Game 3 as I gotta make sure I actually fix the games there. There we go. There we go, we're back in. Sinister wants to make it 2. Bar and Duncan from Sinister. I can't believe he read that one. It's up on high and Sinister's got all this space. I thought that first play was already pretty well made, but why not go down and get the dunk as well? He falls on that play, and I don't know if he predicted that. But if he did, that is quite big brain from him. Is now Eternal Vector off the corner. Marion, back wall. Eternal Vector wants the clear. As Biz off the side wall. Where's Ned? Nate Frog will get the save. Evolutioner. Here from Nate Frog. As Eternal Vector off the back wall. In front for Sinister. That's a third. And it will be another goal for Emerald. And again, they're just starting off these games so high-powered, so high-scoring. They're starting out of the gate with aggression. They're letting Ignition have it. Already up by 3. Ignition, most they've ever scored in a game was 2. Last game, again, they only scored 2 goals, so already things are starting to become very difficult for this team. But again, we still have so much time left. It could get worse here if Emerald keep up this kind of pace. As now another double commit from Ignition. That one, though, not counted as they react quickly, and they do well at getting themselves back to defense. Recovery from Ignition prevents what could have been another goal. Maybe the one that puts this one away for them. The Eternal Vector. Oh, Eternal Vector's just gone past 2 players off the back wall. Evolution doesn't have a Sinister. Not on. Still in front of that for Nate Frog. And that one's pinched away. Eternal Vector now. Back wall. Wants a second touch, but couldn't get it. Evolutioner bumps. And Omarion. Doink, but it's off the bar. So close for Ignition. I'll start that comeback. That really could have been a goal that they really could have used. Instead, they're just going to be sitting on defense here as Sinister. Off the back wall. Omarion jumping in, but Nate Frog infield, but Eternal Vector doesn't like it. Ignition trying to recover. Sinister. The corner, pinch, infield, Nate Frog, demoed by Evolutioner, who removes the offensive threats, but Emerald still have another one. And now Evolutioner with the save. Evolutioner. Whenever he can get involved, he will. Yeah, like, if there's anybody here who has the will of Ignition, it is Evolutioner. As what a play from Evolutioner! Oh! It's not too late for Ignition to start the comeback. Evolutioner bumped but still recovers onto the ball. And it's Team Ignition who still have some light at the end of the tunnel. You just gotta keep searching. You gotta keep fighting. Omarion. Clear past Sinister. Nate Frog. Doesn't like this one. Evolutioner with the challenge. Bounce up the sidewall. Now Nate Frog off the corner. Evolutioner. That goes across the field. Sinister. We have space in field looking for another pass to Eternal Vector. Isn't on target. And it's Ignition who can now collect this one on defense. Maybe a little too much time there for Omarion. Evolutioner in midfield, but going back for Ignition. That's a free chance for Sinister. And Sinister will score. Ignition bumped. And then they went for boost, and, well, that net just wide open for a couple of reasons. And again, it's Strikers of Chaos Emerald who will just benefit from it. They may not be good at they may not be known for their shooting, but when it comes to open nets, they're pretty good at hitting those. Especially when they're the ones who are responsible, at least partially, for that goal. Although that bump in front of that was really well played. That got rid of the defender for them. Emerald not really known for their aggression, but they are going for a good amount of it this series. Just to make things even more chaotic for Team Ignition, who are already definitely having some difficulties keeping up. Vector. Sable Evolutioner, he can maybe get a second goal, and that will be number 2 for Ignition. Again, this game is not out of reach for them. And Strikes Against Emerald, here comes the overcommit that I was expecting, I was talking about coming into Game 2. It'll turn out it'll actually be in Game 3 when that overcommit happens, but there it is. Emerald, not known for overcommitting, does do so right there, as they were just so confident in offense, but that play was not very well organized. There's now Evolutioner. Maybe he wants another. Sinister with the clear. Now, a miss from Sinister. Dayfrog off the side wall. Team Ignition just trying to get a game at the very least. And again, trying to start what would be a reverse sweep, but this is where Emerald's really strong. When they have a lead, they're good at just sitting back and turtling up on defense. Well, it makes the game difficult for Ignition. They've already had some issues with scoring. I mean, both teams have had their issues with scoring, although Ignition having more right now at this current moment in time against Emerald. It's only going to make things tougher for them. As now, Emerald is going to become a rock-solid defense. You really got to work to get goals through this team once they sit on defense. And Ignition are going to learn that probably the hard way here. As Sinister double tap! A 5th goal for Strikers of Chaos Emerald. And that might be the goal to put the nail in the coffin here in this series. It looks like Emerald will be winning in a sweep. Not much else to say except that they are the better team here. With 15 seconds left, only a formality. Emerald have won. They'll go to a 3-on-1 record this season. Oh, maybe one more goal for the road. Grizz will stop that one and keep it out. Running any more goals from Emerald. And now the ball drops. Strikes Against Emerald with a sweep against Team Ignition. Team Ignition's return to the Sportiest stream. Not a very fruitful one. They'll be looking next week to see if they can get their first win of the season. They're still having some difficulties, but for Emerald, that offense of theirs, a rare moment to see it really work so successfully. They'll be happy with it, and they definitely should be. As for Strikers of Chaos Emerald, a rare time for them. Again, the first time that we'll see, not a rare time, what was I saying? I'm a little tired. The first time Sinister's now on this team, and is appearing for them in a series, and a really good start for him. As again, we'll be getting an interview with the Emerald to end off this one, but reminder, after again, we still have another series tonight with Strikes Against Cobalt, Bandini Boys. That should be a fun series that you won't want to miss. As here now, oh, there we are, thank you. I'm here with the players of Strikers of Chaos Emerald. A win here tonight, a sweep. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about that result? Was that what you expected? Were you maybe, or maybe were you guys maybe a little bit surprised by something? Tell me, their Eternal Vector, how are you feeling now with that series?
Well, we came into there expecting a closer game, but we were rotating well and communicating really well, and we were able to just dominate every game out there.
Yeah, and added to that as well, Sinister. I believe this is your debut for Strikers of Chaos Emerald. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, your first time on. Now, again, how are you feeling kind of sliding into this roster? It seemed like a bit awkward for you guys, especially in Game 1. It felt like there was a couple weird rotations, but as time went on, you guys kind of started to work together more and more. I mean, again, tell me, how did you kind of work yourself into the roster here? How did the roster work around you? And, how quickly was it that you guys were able to kind of make sure everything was working fine and get you incorporated into that rotation?
Well, I've played with them before, and their play style is kind of similar. It was kind of easy to get into the groove. I kind of let them do what they want to do, and I just played around them, and then if needed, I needed to step up, then they were able to switch out easy, which made rotations better.
Yeah, of course, and obviously Nate Frog, you're here as well, rounding out that roster. This team, I hate to say it, it's no surprise. It's no surprise that this team does sometimes have issues with shooting. I've mentioned it. I know a lot of people have mentioned it. But this game, you guys are firing on all cylinders. What was it that changed you guys and allowed your shooting to be so successful?
I think it's just confidence, really. I know I've played the entire Skyward season with Sin on my team, and I know he's a great shot. So I can put full faith in rotations and with everybody's shooting ability on the team. And when if you feel comfortable with the team and you don't have to worry about if I have to rotate back or whatever, like you can do some wonderful things. And I think we showed what we're more capable of today than the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, of course. Again, you guys just here to, maybe prove a point, but also just to show just how strong you guys are. Oh boy, next week you guys got a tough matchup in Vertigo. Eternal Vector, tell me how that series of Vertigo 3-0 currently, probably gonna go 4-0 after this week. Although, who they have to play against? They have to play Team Swaginators. What record are Swaginators in? Where are they? What records are the Swaginators at? Actually, you guys might be able to help me out with this.
I think they're 1 and 2.
They're 1 and 2. Swaginators are. Oh, they're actually no, they're 3-0. So Vertigo, you're gonna be playing them next week. They'll either be 3-1 or 4-0. That means that it's gonna be a really tough series, probably your toughest series so far this season, at least on paper. What do you guys, what do you guys have planned to maybe prepare for that?
I feel like we're just putting some practice this week and try to solidify the rotations that we had today towards the end of the series. And I feel like we could give Vertigo a good fight and keep ourselves up there in the top of the group.
Again, I love to hear the confidence from Vegas guys. Emerald, any final statements from any of the players here? Anything you want to say?
The other teams better watch out.
Simple. All right then.
I,
I love the confidence from you, Sinister.
I feel like if it's this roster moving forward with RLSS, I feel like we have no problem with any opponent we face, even if they're 4-0. I know I'm not dissing on Aiden here, but I have full faith in Sin. Like I said, I played Skyward with him, so I know him very well, and we mesh well as a team. So getting Aiden as the third man in here, well, technically Sin in here on the team, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we could turn this season around and take dubs and dubs no matter who it's from. So I'm very hopeful for the rest of the season.
Again, I love to hear how confident you guys all are. And what's to come for this team. Again, next week you got to play, you have to play a tough team, but right now you get your win over Team Ignition. That's all that matters. Congratulations on your win. Have an amazing rest of your night.
Thank you. Thank you for casting, Sporty.
Thank you.
And that is it from me here. Again, a quick series, but we'll be back live very soon. There will be not much of a break. As, again, that's it for me. Again, reminder, come back later tonight for another series, Dragon's Chaos Cobalt versus Bandini Boys. As, again, that's it from me. Thank you all so much for being supportive, but again, I'm gonna go, we'll end the stream here. I'll be live later. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing rest of your day.